Mhm. So, hey, YouTube star, it's your girl Beauty B Marie. This is the B Marie Talk Show, and I have my co-host with me, Miss Precious Franklin, giving old God the glory. So, I want y'all to give her a nice round of applause for having her. So, today the topic is basically about knowing our worth, and the reason why I chose that topic because I feel like that's where I'm at with it. Don't get me wrong. I feel like we always gonna be growing when it comes to knowing our worth. Because it's not just. I'm not talking about just relationships. I'm talking about job wise, just people, friendship wise, everything all around in our life area, knowing our worth. So that's the reason why I chose that topic, and I feel like it's important to talk about due to that's where we at in this DNA right now. I feel like we are all trying to get to know who we are, know our worth. We're trying to gain control over our mind, thinking more positive now. So that's the reason why I chose knowing our worth. So I wanted Miss Precious to join me, to get a little feedback on how she feel about the topic. So it just can get, we can vibe off each other, how she feel, I feel, just come together and just talk about it. So let's just get into this. And thank you all for watching. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, stay tuned, hit the bell so you can be notified when your girl upload.
All right. Knowing your worth. So again, I am Precious Franklin, giving God the glory. And the reason I say that, I've done a couple of other videos, and I think we were talking about it. One of the things when I like a name, like when you think about who you are, right? I know your name speaks for who you are.
Right.
You know what you're trying to do, what you're trying to influence, and exactly is what you stand for. And I once some time ago, it dropped in my spirit that I'm not just Precious Franklin, but I am Precious Franklin, giving God the glory.
That's why I told
who
you
I am.
love that
Yes,
name. That was an
exactly.
amazing name. That's why I told you.
And even when I went into that a video that I did on my channel, I also looked at it and I was very I kind of dawned on me that back in the day, people used to call things what they were. Not just names. They called them by what they were.
Right.
And so one of the things that I had learned, is just like certain things are just what they are. And so I decided to own my name, and just know that I am Precious Franklin, giving God the glory. And again, to talk about knowing your worth, like that set up my worth. It literally transforms me, because I believe in motivational speaking as well, but I call myself a transformational speaker. And the reason I use transformational speaker is because I'm into transitioning lives with words, because I think that sometimes motivation is something that is more temporary. It's things that we have to be told every day, over and over and over to do it. It's kind of like we go looking for motivation. Exactly. So you have to literally go every day to be motivated. But transformation, I think, was something that stuck with me because it was a little more positive.
The person that you
Yes.
So I like that.
Exactly.
Okay,
It's who I am.
Right.
It's like I'm no longer that, but I am
become.
this. You see what I'm saying? And when you transition into something, it's a little more permanent.
Right.
It's like you can operate in that function, versus like when you're motivated, it's very temporary. You can be motivated today and then not motivated for the next 6 months until you get that motivation again. But when you transform into something, transformation is more permanent. It's like, it's who you are now. So then it's just a longer lasting thing. And I think that as people, especially speaking to the culture, it's time to be transformed,
Yes, it is.
And so knowing our worth is so funny, because I've been thinking a lot about this today. And I thought about it, knowing our worth is so valuable. It's so important, because I was thinking about this when you came to me with the topic, and I was like, wow, because it's up to us to set the price or to set the standard on who we are. And only we can know that. And our worth actually changes over time.
It's to really to know who you are behind our truly conditioned mind. Like, that's when we know, because our mind can play tricks on us. And, the devil, I'm sorry, but y'all know I'm a firm believer in God. And, the devil work his ways, and I'm learning this. He's patient when he comes, okay? So that means he already learned you. He know you. So the things that he's doing, he already know what he want to do. He's just going to use little tactics to get his job done.
Right.
So when we know our worth, that stuff like that can't even get in, because we know who we are and what we stand for, basically. So that's why I feel like I was really on that topic, because I feel like I was a little bit on the verge of, I'm not going to sit here like I'm all the way there. I was on the verge of just not knowing my work. So I'm like, let me start doing some studying and some research. And then when I start reading the things about knowing our worth, it's a lot that comes with knowing our worth.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think too, like going into that, like where we are in our general lives, like I remember one time I took this class online, and it was funny because it was like, I can't remember exactly the class, but it was like a class at Harvard or something like that. And he had this professor, he had put something in this box, right? And when he got into the box, nobody in the class knew what was in this box. And so he put this thing in this box, and he's like, opening bids start at $75. So the students who were in this class, everybody just started bidding at it, not knowing what was in the box, because that's what you call, it's a value. And so when we look at something, how it's evaluated, it's like a piece of art. It's like a piece of art, to some is trash,
right?
But to another, it's worth $1 million. So our value is much similar to that, and that's why it's up to us to know our worth. Because we have to set our value, the standard on what we're worth. Exactly. And it's like, I love it because God is so important in my life, but it's almost as though God says, never judge a beggar. And he also says, never judge the rich, because he is going to supply everybody's need. There's no difference in the person that needs $5, the person that needs $50, and the person that needs $500. If they have faith and they believe that God will meet the need, then he's going to meet that need. And so we can never be quick to judge people, even the rich, because they got a $5,000 need. And that's what they need, because their standard of living is much higher than another person's. And he's like, don't judge anybody. You got to know your worth.
I was just about to get into that. It's just like, how like when they say like really focus on yourself, that is real. And that's what becomes with knowing our worth, because when we don't know our worth, we just start focus on everything around us, what other people got, what we don't have. So then we become jealous, we become envious. So what that make us? Then that make us miserable, bitter, start doing things that we didn't even know that we was doing due to the miserable and the bitterness. So I feel like when we know our worth, anything that somebody else has, it won't even matter to us, because we know, like when we like Miss Precious said, when we trust in God, we know that he's gonna move and do what he has to do for us. That's when you trust in him, though, and you have that faith. Without the faith, though,
it's done. Without faith, it says it. Without faith, it is impossible to please God. It is impossible, because and this is so good, because I learned this lesson a long time ago, but it's constantly hard to work out about what faith truly is. Faith says that it is the evidence of things not seen. So it says that it is all things hoped for.
It say, walk by faith and not by sight.
Exactly.
And that's when I first started what you said, when I had to go through my little prayer, when I had to learn, like, you have to have faith, because I was trying to do it on my own. And I had to learn that I can't do it on my own. I really cannot. When I have faith, because I know a lot of people may look at me, and a lot of people judge me by the way that I look, so they think like, I don't know, I'm not going to say that I don't know God, but I don't have nobody on my side. But the crazy part is, I can honestly say, like, he has been on my side. Like, he never left me, and that's, I'm not saying that I don't believe him, but I'm not a church goer every day and things like that. But what I'm trying to say is, when you build your own relationship with him, that's your relationship with God. Nobody can tell you how your relationship is, nothing like that. Your relationship with God is your relationship with God, not nobody else. It's just you and God.
And and when you start to look at it, as our relationship with God, that is really all it takes. People always keep on saying, we always have to say this, because people, I think, not people, but some church people have really messed it up for everybody else. And I'll say this because of the simple fact, people don't realize, people think the church is a building, and it's not. We are the church. The church is in you, the church is in me, which will mean wherever you go, the church is there. That's why it has to become that thing that is like, wherever we go is holy. Whatever we do, it's within us. And so I think that you have people inside and outside of the church. And I always say, God tells us to try the spirit by the spirit. Because you have to know, in order to know who a person is,
and not by flesh.
Exactly. In order to know who that person is, or in order to know if this is the right thing for you, then you want to try the spirit by the spirit. It should come out to be gentle, patient, loving, kind. You're looking for the genuineness of it, gentle
behind it.
Exactly. And so we have to continue to like embark on this journey, but we also have to remember that our faith is being made whole every time we believe for something new. So it's like when you have it says that's mustard seed faith, and all you want is the new apartment. or this or that, and then God gives it to you, and then you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I got it. He actually, those are like baby steps and increments that he wants
showing
you
who he
trust
is.
me more.
Trust me, I was like that. He was just showing me like. I think I went like, I tell anybody, I went like, when the pandemic happened, I went like 3 years, 2 or 3 years without a job. But I promise you, me and Jabari, the house we was in, every need was met. And I said, without a job. So that's when I knew, you cannot tell me that he's not real. Like, and that was just him. That was just him starting to show me, like, look, I was trying to show you I've been here this whole time. You just got to pay attention and wake up and see and trust and know.
That's right.
But, yeah.
And even like, you know, like knowing our worth, like,
That's
who you, like, I got this thing today. It was bless me so much. Let me bless. We're gonna bless the audience with this.
Okay, I was just about to say that.
The thing said, whatever you tune into, you turn into.
Yes, what you
It
watch,
said-
what you
yes.
hear, what you see,
Everything.
what you eat, like all that is important. Me, it's crazy, but y'all, I talk to my food when I'm cooking. I tell my food when I'm cooking, I love you, you are amazing. That's just because you letting it know, like the love that you have for, like, I don't know if y'all seen the thing on YouTube where they did the rice challenge, and they did it for, I think it was like 7 or 5 days, but one rice they talked bad to, one rice they spoke love into. This rice that they spoke bad into really went bad. The rice that they spoke love into did not go bad or nothing. Like,
wow.
I think some of y'all got to look that up, but yeah, it's how we speak to ourselves. Like,
yes, whatever you tune into, you turn into, and and that's why we have ear gates, eye gates, all these things that everything is getting into. Like, I remember a long time ago, they were talking about when you get pregnant, like they was like making the babies listen to classical music, and it was like calming them and soothing them and reading to them and things like that. So if you can influence a child by from in the womb, imagine what we can influence ourselves in. That means, like, some people don't recognize this, but when you go to bed at night, it's good to cut everything off, including the TV, because what happens is, even though you're sleeping, if your TV is on, and let's say you can still hear it, your body is sleeping, but your mind is still processing all of the information that is coming in. So actually, when you wake up and you're kind of tired and you're really exhausted, it's because your mind, you were resting, your body was resting, but your mind was working all night long, processing everything that it told you.
That's why I said, knowing our worth is truly knowing who we are behind our conditioned mind.
Absolutely.
Like, that's why I said that.
Food we eat, the people we hang around, that matters when it comes to your worth. The second part of second part of that statement that I got is, it said, whatever entertains you trains you.
Yes.
So you have to be careful what you're allowing to entertain you. Make sure that you are taking in positivity. Make sure that you are not allowing people to be negative around you.
And when your negativity do creep in, because don't get me wrong, because I have it sometimes too.
We all do.
I go and I pray, and I don't even go nowhere. I'm talking about I go. I start talking to God. God, please just help me. Like, get this out of my mind. Like, even I don't know, but I just start talking to God. I just start telling myself affirmations. I am beautiful. I am loved. I'm confident. Like, you have to train from negative to positive. It's not something that can just happen. It's really training, like disciplining. That's training. Like, and we can do that by building our self-esteem, by doing things that you love for yourself. Like, take care of yourself. Like, me, I can give you all some ideas. Me, once a week, I do this thing where I buy myself flowers. I do, because I just feel like it's just showing me that love. I don't need nobody to show me the love. I'm already giving the love. And I promise you, the love that you give yourself, you're going to receive. So if you know that you have not been giving yourself your love, and you feel like, why everybody be treating me like this? Why? It's because you don't give yourself that much love. So go start loving on yourself. You feel like it's getting a little weird, your circle getting a little funny, everybody moving funny, separate yourself. Spend some time with you. Like, get to know you. And if you feel like you're in a room and the vibe is a little bit off and you by yourself, it's you. So that means that you need to, work on you. Like me, I came to a point where I'm very comfortable in the room by myself. Okay, like, just mentally, everything. So that's what we have to start doing. We in this generation where everybody wants to do what's popping, what's hot, let's take the time to get to know ourselves and know what it is that we really want, what we really want to do, what it is that we doing with our lives and things like that. Like me, I'm young, but a lot of people think like, oh, she just up in love, she really don't hang with us. It's not that. I'm about to be 30 in a couple of years, okay? So what we do now, it sets us up for the future. So that's where I'm at with it. That's why I say, like, you got to spend time with yourself, get to know yourself, love on ourselves, do things that you love, write it out what you love, start journaling. This is not just about relationships with knowing your worth. It's about every area in your life. Finances, jobs, friendships, family, every area in your life. And I promise you, when we know our worth more, relationships will get better. You will feel better as a person. Mentally, we will get better. Like, because I feel like we'll be more at peace too. Because I feel like I'm becoming more at peace.
Yeah, absolutely.
More that you know what you want. Get specific too. Start writing down exactly what you want.
And
Very
protect
specific.
your peace. You know, like, one thing is, like, and I love that too, because we're all going through stuff.
We are.
And let me tell you, it's hard to work on yourself by yourself.
Yes, it is.
So with sometimes, like, okay, let me rephrase that. You can work on yourself. You can discover all these new beautiful things about yourself and be very content with yourself. But what always puts out a measurable growth is, who are you when you get in the room with someone else? So who are you in relationships? And a lot of those things for myself is being challenged right now, because, you know, I'm in a relationship and I'm noticing that I am sometimes judgmental. Sometimes these things, and again, it comes from me thinking about knowing my worth. And it also comes to me like trying to understand what I'm getting out of a relationship and what is going into a relationship. And always, because when you're dealing with other people naturally, you're gonna have some type of setback. You're trying to blend yourself off with somebody else, and no matter how good you are, no matter what you think you got under control, learning how to operate in a space with other people is also valuable. It's valuable as well. And so we have to continue to, like you said, know our worth. We have to know ourselves, but then get some measure on it. Put yourself in these circles and see who you are and how you
when
respond.
you speak, after you
we're
get
not
the
perfect.
wisdom, use it.
Yes,
Put
it has to be
work.
applied.
Yes.
Applied, and which is what wisdom is. Why wisdom is applied knowledge.
Yes,
But
I got you.
we definitely have to know exactly what that is and what that means, because sometimes it will be challenged. But I love Martin Luther King when he says, who a person is not discovered in times of comfort. It's discovered in times of trial. And then you have to work on it. And like you said, some stuff is not perfect, but what are we going to do when it's not perfect? And like, I love what you said when you said we pray. Like, we have to go into this prayer mode. We have to get into it. And let me tell you, it's not going to be that easy.
It's not.
Sometimes just remembering to pray can be a stretch. And you might go 2 weeks, 2 months, or 2 years stuck in your rut before you remember, like, oh my God, why did I not just pray and get out of this? And that, to me, is the thing that we have to remember more of. We have to remember where our sanity lies faster. Sometimes you got run to
when y'all
him.
going through things, like, that's another thing about knowing your worth. And the reason why I say that is because I was one of them. I wanted to go talk to everybody, rant and things like that, but I was learning, like, that was not doing nothing but putting other people's decision and opinions in my head. So then now I don't know what to do. Sit and talk to God. Like, even if talk, cry.
Yes, get it out.
Like, don't be afraid to cry. I think it's a lot of things where people are afraid to cry or feel vulnerable. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable.
That's right.
Okay? Because when you become that opens you up. And when you do that, you open to receiving and giving. And I feel like...
Absolutely. You know, exercise does for the body what reading does for the mind. And not only that, but crying is a way that we get rid of mental toxic. You know, everything else that's not good for us, we discard it, you know, and we cannot sit back anymore and just allow things to happen to us and accept everything that comes your way. The same way you're not going to eat the spoiled food, you should not take the spoiled things in, the negativity in. And so you have to cast it out deliberately with intention, you know, and we have to make sure that we're doing that. And so I've learned that time after time, and you said this earlier, like, what type of things are we doing that are making us better people, you know, and I'm learning, like, right now, I'm gonna tell you what is really disruptive is the fact that I need to eat. I say it like this. I need to give out of my overflow.
Right.
Because what happens when people start struggling and being mean and all this stuff is because we're giving out of our lack.
Yeah.
And so you have to fill
That was
yourself
me.
up.
Yes, you do.
You have to fill
your
yourself
own cup
up
first.
because then when you give, you're giving out of your overflow.
You
and so
empty.
what I have to, yes. And so how can you give anything when you are empty?
You can't even give it to yourself.
I'm learning.
There.
Build up yourself first. Go to the gym, work out. Ladies, it is important if you just walk around your neighborhood.
And we're going to be at a phase in our life. I wanted to say this
Yes.
when she said the overflow, because this is important. It's going to be a phase in our life where it's going to be no. And it's only
That's
for
right.
that moment, because you are trying to fill up. You're not trying. You are filling up your cup. So it's going to be a moment where it's going to be no. And that's okay, because you know when you done, you know the type of person you are, and the intentions behind your no. You know your no is not no because you're being selfish. You know your no is, your intentions is because you filling up your own cup. You can't give something that you don't have.
Exactly.
So I just wanted to throw that in.
No, and that's beautiful, because I remember the first time somebody freed me and they told me that it was okay for me to hurt other people when it meant that I was saving myself. And because I struggle with saying no, I've struggled with that my whole life. You know, I have that people pleasing, although I can get out of it, but I still have it in me where I'm trying to.
It's in our heart.
It's in our heart because we're nurturers. We're women. We want everybody to accept us, love us, like us, you know, things like that. But we have to get more confident in saying no. We have to choose ourselves, and we must. And it, like you said, be okay with saying no, because if you're saying no when it means that you're doing something positive for yourself, it's not forever.
Right.
No
It's
doesn't
just at
mean
that
denial.
moment.
It could just mean delayed. You know, so you have to
That's a good
sometimes
word.
delay it. You know, because now you're choosing. It's like when you're working on the body
Yeah.
and you're trying to get the figure. It's gonna hurt, and you don't want to go. But if you stick with it, you will see the results. Consistency builds character.
Yes,
you know,
it does.
we can't just, and like when we're sitting here talking about knowing your worth, ladies, these are lessons that we are going through right now.
Yes, it's
we
not
are talking
us
about
telling y'all
this
because we upped it. No. So y'all, that's why it's called my healing journey.
Yes.
So you all can grow.
Yes.
You're growing with us. We growing together, because that's what
Yes.
we at with it. We all need to grow together. Stop putting each other down. And that's what comes with knowing our worth. I promise you, if all of us sit here and get ourselves together and know our worth, we'll be way loving than we are now. There's so much hatred and stuff out this world. Love yourself, get to know God, and watch how.
And then I love that, because let me tell you, when you love yourself and you get to know God,
you know how to love
you
others.
start you not only do you know how to love others, but you also know what is not good for you.
Yes.
Because let me tell you, when it comes to knowing your worth, it's never going to be anything wrong when you do get around the negative people. And like I said, whatever you tune into, you will turn into. You have to know that, because once you've conditioned yourself, once you know that, you know what not to allow in. We can no longer, there are two halves that make a whole, and that is both love and hate. And I know this world wants us to love and accept everything, but some of this stuff is intolerable, and it is breaking our hearts. It's breaking us as women. It's breaking our friendship, our sisterhood, our families. Like, why are you saying yes to this? Why are we allowing this stuff in our mind? Why are we allowing the culture to just shame us?
And that's all goes back to what we watch, what we hear, what that all ties into that.
Because think about it. When it comes to money, ladies, when it comes to money, we sitting here, we two natural sisters, right? I ain't giving the people not $1 more of my money. You know what I'm saying? Look how beautiful our hair grows all by itself. Because we talk about, it's about discipline. If we could discipline ourselves enough to say no to certain things, we could control the economic system.
We can.
We could control the economic system. We could grow food. We could grow everything. Do what we need to do.
We gotta build
and
our
it's not
farms,
about not loving them. It's about us maintaining control. It's about us knowing how to have that control. It's not that we patronize, because we love to patronize each other, but I need you to know how much my dollar is worth. I got out here and worked 40 hours for that dollar. And for me to go spend it with somebody who bums off my customer service, gives me poor customer service, who treats me like I'm nothing, and then I'm sitting here giving my money to you. No, baby, I know my worth. I can do without it. You know what I'm saying? I've learned how to survive. I will not see you next week.
That's what we got to stop being. That's the thing. We gotta start being uncomfortable with being. We gotta start being comfortable with being uncomfortable.
That's right.
A lot of people don't want to become uncomfortable. Like, no, I'm in an area in my life right now where I have been in the most uncomfortable area in my life. But guess what? It's helping me grow. It's helping me truly see what it is I want out of life, what I want for myself. And I'm talking about get very specific. Because at first it's like you know, but you don't really know.
Right.
But now when you sit there and get to know yourself, and that's why I say spend time with yourself, you really get to know exactly what it is that you really want and what it is that you really want to do and things like that. That's why I say we got to go with being uncomfortable a little bit before we can become that comfortable that everybody's trying to get to. Everybody just want to be this made it here. No, you got to start from here.
Yes. And
build your character. That's what God does when he sends us trials and tribulation. He's building our character, building us into the person that he wants us to become. Not who you want to become, who he wants us to become. So,
and on that note, you said something very valuable, because I think this is important. We have to know this. If who you desire to be doesn't make you uncomfortable in the beginning, like, know that it should make you uncomfortable. Make you very scared. Because it makes you scared. And so when you're what they call reimagining yourself, and because you can be somewhere, but then you're reimagining yourself, you have this vision for yourself that is more than you can even think or imagine. You have to be okay with sitting in that uncomfortable position, because you don't know how you're going to get there. You don't know when the money going to come from, how the business going to get started.
And give praise and thanks through the whole situation. Trust me, because at first that's why I say this is for y'all to know me. I was a complainer. I was like, why is this happening to me? But then I started realizing, I know I'm a good person. I knew what it was. It was not complaining. It was me not giving thanks in the time that I was in, because he had something better for me. But how could he give me better when I was being ungrateful for what I already had? So give praise, give thanks to him for any situation you in, even if it looked like it's not going to make it out, you're going to make it out. Trust me.
Every single time, without a shadow of a doubt. And oftentimes our futures are built on the things that we go through. So sometimes the more tribulation in your life, the bigger your future is. Just don't stop there. And don't be okay with that uncomfortable situation of reimagining where you are. And I love this thing. Like, right now is a perfect time. I don't know when this video comes out, but it is October. And in October, I do something that is called sticking to the plan. And this is a reimagining session that I go through, where I sit down and I evaluate where I am, and I look at where I want to be. And that's why I call it sticking to the plan, because what's going to happen is in November you got the holidays coming up, December the holidays coming up, even January the holidays coming up. If you have not made a plan for 2023 by December, you're already late, because you should because you're going to be busy. Your mind is running rampant.
That's good. Christmas. Hey, stars, we're going to do that. That is the plan. Okay. So what was it called, Miss?
Sticking to the plan. Sticking to the plan, and we're reimagining ourselves. And I have, I would love to even speak more about this, because we need to do this live session where we can talk and sit down. Like, we got our notebooks and stuff here, but we're not doing this today. But perhaps in the future we can sit down here and we can talk about what we're going to be doing over this next couple of weeks, so that we can finish by the end of October and be our lives reimagined. And then we can always be ready to go into the next season. So by the time the next season starts, we are already on a roll. We're already doing it. We're already there. So ladies, I just encourage you guys to watch this video, share this video, like this video, subscribe to this video. Again, I am Precious Franklin, giving God the glory. Follow. And I am so amazed. Thank you for having me.
Your IG, Miss Precious. Yes,
IG? I do have an IG, and it is the same. It's I am Precious Franklin on IG as well, and on my YouTube channel is I am Precious Franklin, giving God the glory. And it's the same thing on my Facebook. I am Precious Franklin, giving God the glory. And I say that because that is who I am. And this, like you said, this is a journey. We're all taking it together, and we have to stick together, because we are overcome by our testimonies. And we didn't really get into a lot of testimonies, but if we sit here and testify, we could be here all night talking about how much good God has done for me and how he's bringing me through. And right now, even in a season of my life,
we should do that though. Have another episode where we do that, and we talk about, because that
testimony.
Was share some stories, you know, because when you hear other people's stories, it just encouraged you to be like, wow,
Yeah.
you went through that and you look like that. Don't even look like what you went through. So you'll be surprised. So I feel like, yeah, we're going to do that one episode, get together, share some testimonies. I feel like that would be amazing.
Yes. Well, ladies, this was amazing. I hope that, again, you guys know what you are worth. Set the price. Get off the clearance
Ladies
rack.
and gentlemen,
and get
okay?
back in the place where you belong. Get in the case, where people just can walk and look by until they are ready to make purchases.
Right.
Do not put yourself on the clearance rack. God does not want us there. He is trying to take us higher and higher and higher. And one indication that it is your season to go higher is because you are uncomfortable. You are agitated, and you are not happy
it's your
with where you are. It is time to move.
So stay and strong,
know your
giving him
worth.
that glory, trusting and knowing, so tune in with us. Everything will be below. Don't forget to follow me on IG at BDB Marie. Don't forget that if you like to email me, talk, have questions, anything, feedbacks, don't forget to hit that comment down below. Don't forget to write me an email, bmarietalkshow22@gmail.com. It was so wonderful having Miss Precious. Like, I'm so happy that she joined me, y'all, because let me just tell you this real quick. I'm gonna give y'all the rundown. So she was my Uber driver, right?
Yep.
But this how God worked. I don't know what it is, but I'm like, I want to do this talk, be like knowing your worth. And I apologize for the wait, you guys, because I told you my uploads are on Monday. But I just was like, it's somebody I want to do this with. I don't know who, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then one day, God touched my heart. And I reached out to Miss Precious, and she just was like, her energy was amazing when she accepted it. So I knew right then and there, like, that was God that had touched me to reach her. So I'm definitely grateful for her and joining us in the channel. She definitely will be on again.
Yes.
She was definitely one of the best co-hosts. Yes, sir. But yeah, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and that bell. And stay tuned. It's your girl, B. Marie Talk Show. Thank you all for watching.
Bye.